Explore the Pocono Mountains 350. Kyle Busch is your winner. Kyle Larson came into second, and it was a hell of a race.
It was pretty wild.
Let's dive right in. Nick, how was Pocono, the second doubleheader of the weekend? How did you like it?
It was all right. Wasn't as nearly as good as yesterday's race.
Yeah, we didn't see the racing that we saw yesterday, which was some damn good racing. Like I said, probably the best racing that we've had all season,
Yeah.
even last season, maybe. That's a bold statement, like I said, but I think it was probably true. Hell of a good race that we had yesterday.
Yeah. Today was all about pit strategy. I mean, constantly throughout every single stage, it was people were pitting here, people were pitting there, and that's what kind of shook up the standings and the race results today.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoyed the race today. Like you said, it wasn't as intense as there was no hook to it. It was just a bunch of pit strategy. It was a big chess game going around in a triangle for a couple hours.
Yeah, it was still a great race. I'm not trying to undersell the race at all in any sort of way. But
Your boy Kyle Busch won.
Yeah.
As you're wearing Chase Elliott stuff.
Well, again, I don't have too much gear that I can actually put on. I probably have like 15 Chase shirts and nobody else's. See,
Is Kyle Busch back?
Kyle Busch is definitely back. Got his second one of the season.
Yes.
Which is already more than he got last year. So I feel like that slump is definitely over, and we won't have to talk about that anymore. Kyle Busch is back. It's the last time I'm saying it.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, probably not.
It's probably the last time because that's the last race he's going to win all season.
Is that your prediction?
That's probably my prediction. I don't know. The man, his gearbox he got stuck, and everybody was astonished to see that he was able to bring it to victory lane after having a gearbox that was fucked up. That was impressive, and I don't think that anybody else other than Kyle Busch would be able to make that happen.
I agree with you. During the race, Steve Letarte even mentioned, he was like, I'm taking Kyle Busch out of my fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and put in Ryan Blaney because Kyle Busch is having transmissions issues. It's getting stuck into fourth gear. It won't come back out. There was one time where he came down pit road, and I was wondering why it was taking him so long.
He couldn't get that thing to fire up.
Right. He was stuck in fourth gear, so you basically just have to wait on the car for it to do what you want it to do. And I mean, when you're leaving pit road in fourth gear, it's going to take you a minute.
It was, and you had the entire pit crew pushing him down pit road to try to get that thing fired and up to speed for him to be able to roll off. And even then, it was slow.
Yeah. Our buddy Mark called it, though. Kyle Busch won the race and everything. He said it from the very beginning. Kyle Busch is going to win this thing, and sure enough, it did.
Yeah, that's true. Kyle Larson came in second place. He had a lot of nose damage that happened whenever it was during a caution. Denny Hamlin checked him, and he rear-ended Denny Hamlin. Denny didn't get any damage to the back end of his car.
Right.
But he got a lot of nose damage on the number 5 team.
Yeah.
They came back into, I think they wrapped around pit and they knocked it out. I saw them bring out a baseball bat, knocking the nose back out. It's amazing with the tools that they use to fix NASCAR stuff.
That was pretty cool to see. I was wondering, and honestly, like you said with the baseball bat, I mean, they were able to push the nose out. You know, they couldn't get it perfect, but at the same time, they were at least able to fix the arrowness out.
Man came in second place, so
that actually surprised me, to be completely honest, because he fell all the way back to 30th.
Yep.
I mean, I know he started from the rear because he had to go to a backup.
Yep.
And
I don't think the backup phased him at all, and I called that from the beginning. I think Dale Jr., he begged to differ. He said he wasn't going to do as well at all today because he was in a backup car, but that car was the exact same engine. They did an engine swap overnight.
yeah.
He showed how strong he can, and just as good how good of a driver Kyle Larson is.
That is very true. He would have at least gotten a top 10 had it not been for all those guys there at the very end that had to pit.
Yes, that's true.
So he still, I believe, was in like 6th or 7th. So he still would have at least finished there. But then a lot of those guys in between, Denny Hamlin being one, Kurt Busch, another, that there was a lot of people that had to pit with, you know, 1 or 2 left to go, and that always kind of sucks. That's got to kind of break your heart right there, seeing the white flag and you have to come down pit road because you're just short on gas.
Exactly, William Byron, man. And I think I heard you said William Byron was going to win.
That was my prediction, was for William Byron to win this race.
It would have been awesome. I put him in my fantasy to take the W, I believe. But then I went strong on Joe Gibbs Racing. So I won it there and lost it on William Byron. But we talked about Brad yesterday. Brad Keselowski came in P3 today. Solid fantasy points that he put up. I didn't play him. I'm scared to.
I'm on that same boat.
Brad. Eric Jones fans are probably heartbroken after what happened to him today.
Yeah, that was bad luck. That was pretty unfortunate.
That was very unfortunate.
I remember seeing it before I could even see the replay. We could just, I mean, that tire was locked up already. And there was nothing, I mean, again, nothing you could really do.
Absolutely nothing.
Kind of ruined his day, unfortunately, but, you know, that team is definitely growing stronger with somebody like Eric Jones in that ride. So.
Right. Yeah, his tire you can see, I believe it got cut.
He ran into the back of Cole Custer, and that's what cut his tire down, and then locked it up.
You are right.
The whole nose got pushed into the tire, and I'm not sure if that's what locked it up or if it was mechanical failure of some sort.
It was most unfortunate for the Eric Jones team.
I thought it was pretty neat how William Byron literally got his lap back right at the the end of stage 1 at the start-finish line. He beat Martin Truex to the line to get his lap back, and Martin Truex Jr. wins that first stage.
That was insane because you saw it was over for him. I mean, we knew that he was going to get the lucky dog position. He was set up to be able to wrap around, but that would have messed him up from not being able to pit.
Right.
You know, because he needs to make up that field gain. But it was cool to see how Martin Truex, he was racing hard. He was racing his heart out, man, going for the win for stage 1. William Byron was right behind him the entire time. Mm-hmm. Comes around the last turn, man, the last turn, and whips it right next to him. They were nose to nose, and then goes in front of him to make up so he wasn't a lap down any longer.
Yeah, the whole Sundays for NASCAR crew was jumping up and down for that one.
For William Byron, impressive, man. William Byron, what, 26, 25? He's younger than I am.
Yeah, younger than both of us.
Impressive on him, for him to be able to control that car as well as he does, and to be able to control that emotion. You know, that adrenaline, man. I know that blood was pumping, and he got it.
Yeah, and I know Martin Truex was fighting him to the very end and everything. He did not want William Byron to get back up there because he knew his car was strong.
Joe Gibbs wants to keep Hendrick Motorsports as low on the food chain as possible, but it's impossible for that to happen.
They all got nitrous apparently hooked up to their cars, and they're all running away with these races.
That JJ juice is serious.
Hey, good job, Chad Canales. Whatever you're doing to them cars, keep doing it, because apparently they ain't catching on.
That's also true. Ross Chastain took out Christopher Bell, and Bell was completely sideways. He caught some damage on it, but I'm saying this man was completely sideways again. It happened, 2 or 3 weeks ago. He saved it.
He saved it again.
Hey, he got a little help from the wall, but you know what? He saved it Kyle Busch style. Again, I'll say it, and I'll say it again next time when it happens.
Yeah.
Christopher Bell is a drifter, man.
Apparently, he knows how to control that car when it's completely
he does.
sideways.
I'd love to see his warm-ups at whatever his track is, his fun little thing to do while he's at home during the off season or during the weekdays.
Yeah. Christopher Bell and Ross Chastain, they kind of got together there for a second, and I think it honestly cut both of their tires. I mean, not immediately, but over the course of the next lap, and Ross Chastain ended up falling off, and then Christopher Bell Christopher Bell spun with a little bit of help from Chase Elliott, but like you said, he saved it, and that was extremely impressive. But both of them did end up having to come down pit road and get 4 new ones.
Say that one more time?
Yeah,
4
I said that
new ones. That sounded
wrong.
weird.
Some fresh ones. It's like my phrase, and I can't even say it right. Jesus. So yeah, it cut down both of their tires eventually, and they had to come down pit road and get 4 fresh ones.
4 fresh ones, Larry Mack style.
Woo!
So we had stage 1 where Martin Truex won. How'd you feel about stage 2?
Stage 2 was all right. It was just kind of there.
Yeah,
Let's just say that.
but let's say William Byron prevented himself from being a lap down, finishing in stage 1, and then turned around and won stage 2.
Yeah. How? I mean, that never happens, ever.
Right?
So
He was very far behind, and he made up a lot of field ground.
yeah. Especially had he had gotten the lucky dog, he would have had to start in the tail end of the lead lap. This race would have been completely different for him.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So, no, it's great to see William Byron. Honestly, after he won that second stage, I'm thinking he's going to win this race. And he had a huge lead over them other guys, but wasn't able to save nearly as much fuel at the very end. And ultimately got past because he had to come down pit road, just like a lot of others, to refuel. I mean, it was a lot of splash and goes there at the end, and it really did shake up the finishing results.
Right. I believe it started happening in stage 1. At the end of stage 1 or the beginning of stage 2, Kyle Busch, his gearbox started locking up. And what happened with that? Because last time I checked, Kyle Busch took it home for the W in the victory lane.
I know. I think everyone kind of had him written off after he was experiencing these transmission issues. Apparently, it was popping out of fourth gear at first.
He came over the mic and he was saying that it keeps popping out. He's having to hold it. His day. He was, even Kyle Busch was certain that his day was over.
Right. Yeah. Everyone, like I said, everyone had him kind of like checked out, and
I couldn't imagine being like this and having to hold this the whole time, going 200 miles an hour, taking left turns, not 200 miles an hour, but extremely fast.
Yeah, absolutely. From what he said in his press conference afterwards, he kept saying it felt like it was welded in there because he couldn't even get it out of gear. At first, it was popping out of gear. He was trying to keep it in gear.
Right.
And now it's stuck in that one gear.
Right.
And he have to go down pit road at slow speeds and everything. You have to completely stop. I don't even know how you get your car going in fourth gear.
Absolutely, man. It was very slow, and we saw it. His pit times were like 8-9 seconds longer than everybody else's because they didn't have that issue.
Right.
We saw the same thing happen with Daniel Suarez. I don't remember if it was at the beginning of this year or it was at the end of last year, but Daniel Suarez had the same problem, and they handed him a bungee cord through the window and was like, just bungee cord your gear right
Yep.
to something and
just to
hold
leave it in
there.
gear. Yeah.
Exactly. And I remember he tried to do it, but he wasn't able to do it while he was driving. And honestly, I'd be scared to even try that going at those speeds.
Yeah. At the very beginning of stage 3, when they were taking the restart, he wasn't even in that group.
No.
He was an entire turn behind everybody else.
I know.
And literally had to catch his way back up, and did so because when he started in, like, I think it was about 30th place, eventually he made his way up into the top 10, and I was like, there's no way.
Right.
There's absolutely no way that Kyle Busch is doing this. But again, KFB, man. KFB is phenomenal, and all but respect to Kyle Busch. Whether you're a fan or not and everything, you have to respect the fact that he can drive that car no matter what's happening to it.
That's 100% true. Kyle Busch does it like no other. I mean, we thought that we had a Kevin Harvick, which he was doing that last year. He hasn't shown us anything really this year. He kind of screwed me in fantasy points yesterday. Screwed you too.
Yeah.
You played him.
Yeah.
But Kyle Busch, man, you love him and you hate him. And I mean, if you don't like him, we need him in the sport because he brings drama, he brings good racing, and he can do stuff that Dale Earnhardt couldn't even do.
Bold
Wow.
words.
Very bold words.
Especially out of your mouth. That surprises me.
Is my face red?
Yeah, it is. I'm glad you said it, though, because it is true.
It is true. And, I mean, we're probably going to get a lot of hate for it, or I will, but, you know, you have to own up whenever the man's good.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he hasn't won as many championships, which I get that. You know where I stand with the whole Dale Earnhardt, Kyle Busch comparison. I don't like comparing drivers, period, because there's never a second driver. But
Right.
I think that Kyle Busch would be the closest, other than excluding the other 7-time champions, and Richard Petty's in his own category.
Yeah.
So
I'll be curious to see how how far this actually goes with Kyle Busch. I mean, he's making his way up there in total wins, period. And just to see if he can actually make it up there in that Dale Earnhardt group, Darrell Waltrip, Rusty Wallace, those numbers. Actually, you know what? He's already gotten to Rusty Wallace. Pretty sure he's tied with him right now if he didn't just beat it right now.
Right.
I can't remember exactly his total stats, but at the same time, he is making his way up there on that group of top win list.
I know it wasn't Cup Series, but he got his 100th win at the Xfinity at Nashville. That's 2 wins in a row, or 2 wins each week in a row, I guess. It's still a win is a win is a win.
That's right.
And I hope to see what his next move is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I believe it's left in his team to see if they can give him equipment that won't get stuck.
Yeah.
But I really want to know why that got stuck. They're not going to release that information, but I want to know why that got stuck, because it would let us fans know. It's just a little bit more how the race car works. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know a lot of people know the ins and outs with the just, but nobody's really technical. I know I'm not. You might be a little bit because you're a mechanic and all, but I'd like to know why it got stuck, why it kept popping out of gear, and how do you fix that when you're going 200 miles an hour down the road.
Yeah, me too. Because honestly, I don't have an answer for you. Kyle Busch's press conference was actually pretty enlightening to me, because he was talking about all the different tracks, how the schedule is completely different this year. And I thought it was cool to hear it from a driver's perspective instead of just a fan, because we can talk about it all day long, but hearing it from him was pretty great. He thinks that, one race per track.
Yeah.
If we could get 36 different tracks on board, then we should just race there one time. He thought, Atlanta having a second date was stupid.
Right.
He thought that not going to Kentucky this year at all was stupid.
Right.
These are his words, all right? These aren't my words, although I do agree with him.
Yeah.
That I honestly think the exact same thing. Why we can't just go to all these different tracks, especially if we're adding all these other ones. Why are some getting 2 dates? Why are some losing completely all of their dates? It doesn't really make sense to me. But again, with COVID, I think that kind of that shook everything up last year, and it kind of progressed into this year.
Right. So we had Kyle Busch. He won first place position, took it to victory lane. But you know who was up front about to take it?
William Byron.
William Byron.
Yeah.
And he flipped the reserve on with 3 laps to go. Couldn't make it.
Yeah, his crew chief was kind of a little late on telling him when to save, because everybody behind him was saving.
Yeah.
Since he was leading the race, he didn't have anyone that he could draft up against.
And he dropped back behind a little bit, and was it Denny Hamlin he got behind? But he dropped back, I remember, and he was trying to draft and just take it easy, save some fuel, and it just didn't work. He ended up getting up front again, and 3 laps to go, I think, running into the second lap, and he had to come in, which it took Kyle Busch up front. And that happened with a couple people, and that's whenever Kyle Larson ended up getting his second position.
When William Byron came down, Denny Hamlin was there up front.
Oh, that's right.
Kurt Busch was leading this whole pack for a long time.
That's what it was. William Byron ended up getting behind Martin Truex, and he was just trying to coast behind him, and then that's whenever everybody started coming through. So William Byron punched it trying to get up front.
Right. And
I mean, when you got 3 laps to go and William Byron only has 1 win.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. And I mean, you want to get as much as you possibly can. 3 laps to go. It's hard to save fuel whenever you got a shit ton of other all-stars behind you, and you're a lower class than they are, and you're leading the pack. I'm going to take it in for the win. At least try. He didn't have enough fuel in the reserve tank, and that's kind of a loss for him, but we saw some great racing out of William Byron today.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought, after he went down pit road, I thought Denny Hamlin might be winning this race. That would have been his first one of the year, which is so weird to talk about from last year. It is insane that he goes from 7 wins last year, still trying to get a win with only 7 races left in the regular season.
Right.
So that was pretty wild. Denny Hamlin Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch were all there, right there together. They were kind of drafting off each other. I think they were doing a lot of the saving back there, trying to make sure that they could make it to the end. And unfortunately, two out of the three of those people couldn't make it, and they had to stop on the very last lap. Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch being the two that had to come in.
Yeah. I believe the last 3 laps was like the most nail-biting for me of this race, and it was for everybody. Just that fuel, man, you just wish you could keep a little bit more in there.
It certainly made it exciting.
I'm surprised Hendrick didn't figure out a way to keep a little bit more fuel in that tank, just the way that they've been going. I don't know.
It'd be like Smokey Yunick and, making a much larger diameter fuel line or wrapping it through the roll cage or whatever. But, there's rules against all that stuff now.
100%. So. It's all fun and games. We love the teams. We love the sport. And we just like to pick fun. Because if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
You got that right.
That's right, baby.
Well, all in all, it was a great race, especially those last 3 laps. Like you said, nail biting, kept you on the edge of your seat, kept you on your toes.
Exactly.
All those euphemisms for exciting things that were happening, and I'm actually happy with the way that it finished because I was cheering against some people and rooting for some other people. Doesn't really matter who it was, but at the same time, it was exciting still, to say the least. It didn't really work out for me in fantasy, but all in all, I enjoyed it. So bring back the Pocono doubleheader. I mean, what do you guys think of the Pocono doubleheader, having one on Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah.
Sunday's race being just slightly longer than Saturday's. But what do you guys think of the doubleheader? Do they need to keep doing this, or should just Pocono just have one date?
How do y'all feel about doubleheaders in general? It might not even have to be at Pocono, but sure. I like them. I like Saturday races. It's awesome, man. And drop in the comments, let us know. And did y'all enjoy the Pocono race? Which Pocono race did you like better? The organic CBD or the Mountain Adventure 350 or whatever it was called? It's just something weird, man. And
yeah.
I like the whole branching out to different sponsors or whatever. But it's cool, but it doesn't roll off the tongue very easily.
Not quite. There was the one from last year or whatever where it was like 6 words long and it had to do with hand sanitizer or something like that because of COVID.
My favorite one, and I'm pretty sure I speak for the entire racing fan base, the Bushy McBush.
Oh my God.
That one was great.
The fan chosen name for it. That was pretty sweet.
When I saw that, I immediately already knew that was it.
I kind of like the Shave It 400 better, but
the Shave It. I think that had the For the Farmers or the Farmers, which was cool because it's like a farming state. But Sundays for NASCAR, bringing here the doubleheader Pocono race to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. If y'all haven't already hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can. Like, comment. And if you guys comment, we are going to get back to you because I want to get to engage with you guys. I want to know how you feel about the races. I'd like to see what you guys want to see on this content. And me and Nick have been talking about making some games on the show, which would be pretty cool. If y'all have an awesome idea, drop it in the comments. Let us know. If y'all want to see us do some stupid stuff on camera, I'm about it.
I'm all for it.
Let's do it.
We're a bunch of goofballs anyway. Let's be interactive with you guys too.
Exactly. I appreciate it, guys. Have fun. Take care. Boing.
Woo!